Excellent. So, good afternoon slash early evening, Aaliyah. Thank you so much for joining us, Keys House again. We are doing our artist development program. We're on week 3, and we're going to go straight in. So, week 3, we're going to be looking at today branding, building a social media following, and essential online tools for artists. So far, we spoke about what different roles in the music industry, how to actually find your sound, and recording tips. So I try to organize this in a way where it's going to make sense in terms of the order of the things you would, the steps you would take as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's kick off on branding. So what is branding and how does it apply to music?
Mm.
So branding is really, it's a company or product or service that a person that's easily recognizable from their competitors. So something that either that company, product, service, whatever, something that they do or a number of things they do to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. They're known for that. Once they become known for that, that's how you would say that's now a brand. Oh, I recognize that logo. I recognize that name. I recognize that sound, whatever it may be. Yeah. In the context of a recording artist or music producer, this is going to include different things about you that's going to make you stand out and be unique, which can give you a competitive edge. Can you think of any artists right now that you think, okay, like that person now is a brand? Like, we know when we hear that person, we know exactly what to expect from them. We understand what they are and why they're different. Can you think of anybody?
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, okay, cool. You're teaching me something. I don't know who that is, but you know.
She's cool.
Oh.
Mainly like, it's probably like Beyonce. As soon as you think of her, you know, like, bam.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, the big names, absolutely. So yeah, so branding really, obviously, when you're starting, you won't become a brand initially. But if you follow these kind of steps and methods, what it's going to do is it's going to help you to come across very professional and serious about your art. And people will pay more attention to you because you're presented in a certain way, which is quite easy for them to digest. Yeah. So how do you brand yourself? Excuse me. Now, most recognizable brands or have, as I said, a memorable logo. Name me just now some of the first logos that pop in your head for companies.
Nike,
Nike,
Adidas, Zara, Hollister, UB,
McDonald's,
KFC, Apple.
yeah, BMW. Yeah. So all of them have a logo, a strong, prominent logo. And the most successful logos are the most simple logos, yeah, block logos. So it's an idea that when you you start becoming very serious, whether that's as a producer or as a recording artist or as both, that you try to look for somebody, unless you're a graphic designer, to get a logo that really represents you and it should have some kind of meaning. Mm-hmm. Now, also with that, you want to look at font as well, a font type that you can use throughout all of your posts and your projects and stuff. You also want to look at colors. Now, colors have a psychology. I think I might be jumping ahead. So, okay, so let me take my time. The choice of color should reflect the type of musician you are. Now, Aaliyah Johnson, if you had one color to represent you as a musician, what would it be and why?
A colour to represent my music. That's a hard question.
Think about it.
My music taste hasn't changed. No, it's changed. My music taste has changed to something different, and I can't really put a colour to it.
Okay. Well, it may be one or two colours that complement one another, but the colour thing, actually, there's a psychology behind how certain colours make you feel.
Yeah. I feel like it'll be like, have to be like, probably like pastel like colors, like kind of thing.
Right.
Music. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Have a think about why. Don't tell us how. Have a think about why and why that will represent you. Because when you get the brand right, when you get the graphical branding right, it really adds to your whole persona as a musician, and people just the association is so strong, and people recognize that. And so, you know, maybe even down to I know this is old school for you, but like stickers, you've got stickers and thousands of stickers in your post, putting them everywhere, and it seeps into your subconscious, and it makes you feel like when you see it next, I know that, or when you see that attached to a musician, I know that. and there's an affinity, you start to like that person, not really know, okay, cool. They've done A, B, C, and D to make sure that I'm into them, I'm paying attention to them. Yeah. So as I said, choice of font and your name, whatever your name is going to be, your artist producer name. So if you're not going with your name on your birth certificate, then what name are you choosing? Does it reflect you as an artist, your art? Why did you choose that name? Does it have any meaning, or is it just a nickname or whatever? So give that thought in branding. So as I said earlier, it's once you establish your brand, you develop a brand checklist, right? And this, let's look at it in a musical context. So colors, are you always using the colors that your company or you as an artist, whatever, that represents you and what you want to do? So if you used to look at the colors of, let's say, a BMW advert. So for those that don't know, BMW is a huge car company. They're blue, white, and black. Those are mainly their colors. And if you were to look at anything they bring out, that's the main theme. I'm not saying they don't include any other colors, that's the main theme. Then you have the font, which is very important. What font are you using? So you're always being consistent with your font. And maybe that font has an artistic twist to it where it evokes another type of feeling. Like I've seen like Gothic type of writing that works with certain type of brands. Is it Monster? Monster, the drink. They've got like Gothic writing on it.
Yeah.
It just suits it as a brand. It just works. Like it's just got that vibe. The message now. This is mainly for, well, coming from a company's perspective or perspective. However, let's take it to, and we're going to get to this in a minute. Let's take it to social media presence. Yeah. So you've gone into the studio, you've started getting your music ready, you've recorded 30 songs, you're really, really shaping your sound, you like what you're doing, you're starting to understand who you are as an artist, and you're going to start your social media. Now, I don't want to jump ahead again, but the message will come back to the message. And what I mean is, when you're posting, you have to have, why am I posting? What do I want people to understand about it? And is that obvious within the message that I'm posting, basically, yeah? And uniqueness. Now, this is something quite challenging for a lot of people, is how am I different if I am different? What is different about me? How can I let that stand out? Because the competition is real out here. There's many, many people getting into music. Okay, so far?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get onto social media now. I am speaking from the place of, a man who's a lot older than young people. Social media was born in this age, and so a lot of young people that hopefully will see this were born with the smartphone in their hand. So they're going to know a lot more than me. I preface that. They're going to know a lot more than me. So this is from my perspective. Anything you know that can help, you add to it yourself. Yeah. All right. So social media is a great way to start building a fan base as a recording artist or a music producer. So let's look at the common channels. Now you can help me and tell me if I've left it out. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat. I left anything out?
That's pretty much the main ones.
Okay. So I'm going to assume young people know more about social media than I do. Therefore, you're going to know the pros and cons of each. You're going to know how they work, what does what, how long is your post stay there.
Yeah.
Now, what's important when you're going to start these accounts on these platforms is consistency. And so when I say you've got to obviously run some tests, but you've got to understand, because now you're getting into a bit of marketing. Like, how do I actually market myself to the people I think is going to like? How do I actually go out there and get fans? I need to find out who my fans are, what age they are, what's the age range, the demographic, where do they live? So you start understanding how they think and how to post things that's going to appeal to them. Now we're getting a bit deep into marketing. So in terms of consistency, it's just like a TV. Think of it like a TV program. If you watch a TV program, and I know things have changed now, but back in the day, the TV program used to come on at a certain time, certain day, certain per week. Now you can watch it whenever you want. Things have changed.
Yeah.
But if you know a program's coming on at a certain time, you know, okay, cool. I want to go and get that. I'm going to make sure I'm there for that program. That's how you got to think about social media. When am I posting? Is it peak time? Because the idea of posting on social media is you want to get your post in front of as many eyes as possible, so you can start to gain followers or gain people's interest from the music industry to start watching what you're doing. And perhaps at some point, you can work together and get in the music industry. So you want to be looking at when the peak times are. So for example, I mean, because I'm a more of a heavy Instagram user. On Instagram, you have analytics. On mostly things, you have analytics, which is basically a page that will tell you what's the age range of followers you have, what's the percentage male, what's the percentage female, what part of the world are they in, when are they online the most, which is important. And that's where you're going to get your consistency. Most best times I'm finding to post is around in between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. when most people are active. Closer to 6 would be better because it gives people time, to see the posts. And then you got your lunch times are quite good as well sometimes. So once you know that, then you say, all right, I'm going to post either every day or I'm going to post every other day at 6 o'clock. So now you have that. Then you plan your posts in advance so that 6 o'clock don't come in and you just post any picture that's random. You need to be strategic about it because you are building a social media following. You have to appear, not to fake it, but you have to appear to people that's looking at it like you have everything together as a musician, as an aspiring musician. You know who you are, you know your sound, you know it down to your colors, your logo, your message, and it's consistent. So the users can decide, I like that, that's for me, or that's not for me. So there's no confusion in what you're saying, yeah? Okay, so here are some little tips here. So make sure, because the idea is that you're going to have multi accounts on these. So make sure that you have the same handle across all platforms. So handle is in your actual username. Make sure that you have the same image across all platforms. So now what you have to do before we even get to the image things, you have to go and see whatever your artist name is, see if that's available on all platforms. If it's not, you have to get some kind of variant of it. But you have to make sure on all the platforms that you get the same exact handle or name. It's very important because when you do start networking, people say, how do you find me? I'm at Aaliyah Johnson 1 on everything. So whether they're a Twitter user, Facebook, whatever they type that in, they'll find you. I've had problems in the past, and I know many people would say, oh yeah, what's your thing? I said, oh well, on YouTube I'm that, on SoundCloud I'm that, on Sound, it's confusing. So this is great advice to follow before you start your social media following. Now, I'm going to go off the premise that most young people or most aspiring artists and producers already have a social media account. I don't know what you use that for, but it may be an idea to keep that as your personal account and start a new music one and be very, very clear so that you know that's music. I only post my music stuff there and then everything else is personal. That's an idea as well. So make sure you have the same handle or name across all platforms. Make sure that you have the same image across all platforms. That image must represent you as an artist. It's not really, unless you're a very personable artist or producer, that image should look as professional as possible. If you can get a professional photo taken, do that. If you want to do some editing, do that. Make sure that just the visual of the picture alone represents your name, your brand, your artistry. So for example, if it's a guy and he's got a heavy female following and he's in shape, and he wants to take a picture of his top off, that makes sense because he's appealing to the female. Do you know what I mean? It's got to make sense in the marketing level. Stop me if I'm going too fast for you, yeah?
No, go good.
Excellent. All right, so the image is very important. Also, make sure that you're promoting the same product or performance or service at the same time. So essentially what you're saying, what we're doing is this. And lastly, make sure your message is always consistent. What you're doing is this. You're making an assumption that there's loads of people out there that are music fans and people in the music industry, but they are on different channels. Some are on Twitter, some are on Instagram, some are on Snapchat, some are whatever. So I want to try to make sure I can get the attention or try to make sure they can see, I can be available on all those channels for everybody to see. Yeah. And they see the same content, and that's really it. All right. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Wonderful. All right. So as you start to post on your social media now, you should notice which platforms you get the most engagement from. So engagement means not just likes, it means actually people actually commenting and reposting. So it's not just likes. Engagement is all of that. And this is where you should put most of your efforts, right? So this is another marketing thing. So obviously you should really be spreading your efforts across all of them, but we all have this thing called time. And we all got a certain amount every single day. Everybody got the same amount, yeah. But we have different things doing with it. So sometimes you can't put the same effort into, you can't, let's say that you're doing really, really well and you've got 5 different accounts and different platforms. You may not be able to answer each question or like look at each comment and reply to each comment in every single one. It might just be too much. If that is the case, look at where you're getting the most engagement. Yeah. Try to understand why and try to exploit that, whatever it may be. Okay, cool. For example, I know in Instagram, I think at least 70 to 70+% of users on Instagram, people that actually post, are posting music. That's the majority is music. So it's actually a heavy music platform, Instagram. From the last time I heard, I don't know, I haven't checked the recent statistics. Okay, cool. Where are we at? So now, once you've established what is the most your most popular channel where you get the most engagement from, encourage your followers to write comments and share on each post because it helps the engagement. So obviously, and gets the platform to show the post to more people. So I'm sure people have heard this term, the algorithm. My understanding of the algorithm is basically a predetermined programming that says if within the first 10 minutes this post gets 20 likes, then show it to 200 more people. Or show it to, do you know what I mean? So it's something, it's not like actual people behind it, it's a programming thing that they have preset. And I think, or I believe, or what I've done in my research is, so if a post, when it first comes on, it gets comments and likes, and at the first kind of 5-10 minutes it comes on, then Instagram, let's just use Instagram, they will show it to more and more people. Instagram wants to show content to people that they think is gonna go viral. That's what they want to do, and they base that on the beginning amount of engagements and likes. Yeah, and so to get that, you have to actually either ask a question in your post or encourage people to ask about, like, you know what I mean, like, what's your favorite Aaliyah Johnson song, or just something like that. You have to just be conversational and kind of personal with it in a way so you can connect with people. All right. And here leads me on to the next point. Take time to answer the questions or engage in conversations with your followers. This will help your followers turn into fans. Okay. So a fan is somebody, it's seen as a negative word, but fan is short for fanatic. Fanatic is somebody who's crazy about something. But you want fans because fans are the people, like, all right, the perfect example is the Beehive. Beyonce's Beehive. Okay. These are true fans that they're always going to have Beyonce's back, always going to listen to her music, and always going to go to her concerts. Those are the people that, if for whatever reason things aren't going well for her, and let's say she's got 50,000 true fans, she could put on a concert for $10 each, and she could earn her living because those 50,000, or at least 40 or 30,000 of them will come out. Yeah. So you want to actually really build not just people that look at you, but people that into your music, what you're about, and turn them into fans. The way you do that is you actually engage with them. You really engage with them. It's changed from back in the day. Back in the day, it used to be a big separation. Like, an artist was almost on a pedestal, that whole kind of celebrity facade and stuff like that. And now fans want to really have a personal connection, and social media has allowed that. You can go to whoever you like and try and DM them, and they might even answer you back. So things has really changed where that's concerned. Yeah. All right. So very important, what a lot of people don't do, including myself, and it takes time again, is utilize all the functions on each platform. So for example, Instagram has quite a few. I haven't even named them all here. So you've got the feed, which is where most people post, and you've got the stories. Also, a lot of people use that very well. And then you've got IGTV, which was basically give you longer than the minute. Yeah. But there is a lot other things you can do. But use them, find out how to use them, and really just be productive with your smartphone as an artist. And what's good about it is you can do that on the move.
Yeah.
Obviously, you shouldn't be doing while you're in class. Definitely shouldn't be doing it while you're in class or while you're in a conversation with somebody. But there are times you're on the bus or whatever, or that would be a perfect time to do it. Excuse me. And I've said this already now. So use the analytics tools to check the peak times when users are online and post then. Be consistent with the days and times that you post. Yeah. All right. So also I wanted to just talk about some stuff that probably is not classed as social media, but also very essential tools for online artists, yeah, for artists. So these are really kind of platforms that are really music specific, where you can share music and network. I'm sure you've heard of them before. SoundCloud is a very, very big one. Bandcamp is another one. It's great. And Bandcamp's great because you can actually sell your music on there. And I don't believe, yeah, I think you get everything. I don't believe you have to split a percentage with Bandcamp at all. So that's really, really good. And then streaming services are a huge way now, not to make money per se, but to reach a huge audience. So the biggest music streaming service is Spotify. Second is Apple Music. YouTube are really trying to get in the game. There's a few others. There's Tidal. There's a few others, but the two main ones are Spotify and Apple Music. That in order to get your music on there, you have to go through what's called an aggregator, which is basically an online distributor. You can't directly go to Spotify as an artist and say, I want to set up that it needs to go through certain channels. That's where you have to split percentages. So yeah, so these are just three, but I know there are more. So definitely get your stuff on SoundCloud, see how it works. Bandcamp, see how it works. When you think you're ready, what are you gonna say?
Sorry.
That's all right. When you think you're ready, you think your music's there, then look at the the online distributors like the DistroKids, the AWALs, all the different ones, the top ones. Look at the pros and cons, see which one suits you best, and then go for it and start getting your music on there, because there's a lot of people in the industry that look at Spotify. They look at certain playlists and they do look at the amount of plays and listen to music, and it's a really good networking thing, as is SoundCloud. I'm not quite sure how one would network on Bandcamp. I'm sure it can be done, I'm not quite sure, but it's just a good resource, especially if you haven't got a website. You can set it up almost like a website.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that's it. So we said a lot. Any questions? Because you know I'm going to test you on what you have retained.
No, I think it was good. Yeah, social media. It's yeah.
I mean, look, just be honest with me. I'm not sure how old you are now, but I know that, you know, 18. So I know that social media is something that, you know, you're very accustomed to a lot more than me. In terms of pushing yourself as an artist and the marketing aspect of it, did I tell you anything there that you hadn't heard before, or you haven't tried before? Like
the thing about like the colors and
branding aspect.
Yeah, branding and stuff. Yeah, I knew, but like not in depth.
Right, and there's a lot more depth to it, to be honest. A lot more. It's just that was just really kind of just given. Everything is just surface here, you know. Obviously, with everything you can go a lot deeper. But that's important, you know. You get your branding right, get everything right, because you're literally going. Just put it like, I'm going on TV. I want to present the best version of myself musically, and so let me see what that looks like. What's a really good advice is to look at some of the artists you like on Instagram, how they actually use their Instagram, how their brand, how they're on brand. Take a look at that. Yeah. Check that out. Amazing. All right, cool. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us. So this had been session 3, and what we are going to do is, I think we've got, I don't know, I think it's probably 2 to 3 more sessions, and then we're pretty much done. Cool. But I hope it's been helpful. And this will be available on our YouTube channel, which is Keys House, CAIUS, and then House. So thank you so much, Aaliyah. And I'm going to wish you a very good day.
You too. I'll see you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.